Ladies and gentlemen, game number one. We're going straight into our Division 1 game today, where we have No Ruffle going up against the Griefers on Safari. And once again, a reminder to everybody who's watching this right now and has no freaking idea what Heroes Launch is. Heroes Launch is an amateur scene league that exists in North America and also in Europe. Anybody can play. You don't need 5 man. You can also enter the league as a free agent. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check it out at heroeslaunch.gg. And today we're going to look at Division 1. So again, this isn't quite a pro league or anything, but in Division 1 you get quite a lot of players that are Master, Grandmaster, and usually pretty frequently high up in the rankings. So at this point we're looking towards No Ruffle and the Griefers on Safari. On Dragonshire, our first map, and we have Maiev banned out immediately. Pretty much reflective of what we've seen at the Nexus contest, the Nations Cup already quite a bit. So these days we have actually a lot of competition in Heroes, despite the fact that HGC was cancelled by Blizzard. Division S is going to come up soon, which is the new semi-pro league that is currently being set up, and that's actually also being done by Heroes Launch, so definitely, if you have never looked at the website, you should check it out. They have a pretty big FAQ over there that answers pretty much all questions that you could possibly have, and also a very, very active Discord community as well. Nearly dropping the stuff that I'm holding in my hand there. Should probably stop toying around with that. Turan the band out, Diablo as well. Dragonshire map number 1, as I said, in the best of 3. And ooh! Alright, it's getting sexy already. Abathur, I approve. It's a logical decision, obviously, on the level 1. Or on the first pick here. I'm liking it. Abathur for Dragonshire. I mean, you don't see it all that much on Dragonshire. There's other maps where he normally excels a bit more. Sky Temple, Towers of Doom, Cursed Hollow. But you can play him on Dragonshire too. Of course, offsets the top lane immediately. Like the one-on-one gets screwed pretty heavily in favor of the red team with that choice already as is. Garrosh and Junkrat as a response. Hero that we could now see with this is Genji. Is obviously incredibly powerful if you have an Abathur head on it. But the same goes for a lot of other characters that we could see in this here. Oh my god, Lucio! What the hell are you doing? You start off with an Abathur and then you put Lucio in? Not so sure on that. Did I actually pick a Division 7 team? I mean, Lucio, at least with Abathur, can chase people down, so it can be quite annoying. And Lucio himself isn't really a good healer, but if you put Abathur on top of him, that nearly counts as a full healer. So, Johanna with that too. It's a bit of wave clear on Johanna's side, because Lucio doesn't really have any. Abathur offers some, but he's not really fantastic with it either. Symbiote is great, but it's not like he can burst down a wave in any wave or form. Leoric also banned out now, so no Leorc plays. I'm actually surprised that they leave Genji open, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, they could pick him for themselves, but that's the first hero that came to my mind when I saw Abathur being picked. You can, of course, play along a Grey main and some others. And Cho'Gall banned out too, so apparently both of the teams already known for some shenanigans here. Cho'Gall gets banned out. We had him the other day at the Nations Cup, or one of the Nations Cups games. But no, actually, there wasn't Nations Cup. There was a Division 7 game. Sorry, I'm mixing this up. There was a lot of casting the last couple of days. It kind of becomes a bit of a blur. But what is No Ruffle going to do now? Zeratul and Rhaegar. Zeratul can hand Abathur. I'm still waiting for that strategy of them coming together. Oh my god, like what is happening here? Chen with Abathur, Probius, Lucio. What? I mean, Chen Abathur can be insanely annoying, but Chen is having trouble these days for a reason. Then again, there's not a lot of stuns. And when there's very few stuns, Chen actually becomes kind of okay. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, what the hell's happening? Probius makes a bit more sense after we've seen the Probe have a lot of success at the Nations Cup, for the UK team at least. They play extremely well around Probius. And Arena, Probius player for them, knows how to stay safe with a little probe, so it adds a lot of value on certain maps for them. But that comp is wild. And the Hark on the other side, so we have pretty much a meta draft against a bit more of a fiesta. So let's jump into game number 1, as we have No Ruffle going up against Griefers on Safari. Game on, everybody! No Ruffle going up against the Griefers on Safari, who currently are trying to do their name justice. To the left, we have the blue team with Tigronix on Junkrat, Valamax on Zeratul, Kick on Dehaka, Xavier on Garrosh, and Lolpro on Rhaegar. And to the right side, Denka on Abathur, Incidentally, that means thinker in German, and Abathur is thinking a lot about this team composition right now, I can tell you that much. Wise Salami on Lucio. You have to question how wise he really is, considering his hero choice. B-Guy on Probius, Xionox on Chen, and Ainga on Johanna. And we had B-Guy in the past playing Probius. Now that I see it, I actually remember that. With mixed results. Were successful on some, but had some problems on other maps, so it's a little bit of a mixed bag that they're running here. And talking about running, someone that's running is Chen, and the Panda is finally picked in the game and gets immediately bullied completely. That just feels bad. The Panda hate is real. But I heard that Blizzard actually was notified that Panda was picked in a game, and they're already thinking about nerfing Chen, because we can't have that. The hero actually being chosen in a game, that's definitely a little bit too OP. So we can't really handle that. So there is a good chance that the next patch is going to see Chen nerfed again, as you would expect. So Panda power already not starting up here completely. Looking at the builds, like the one big difference that we have when B-Guy is playing that particular style with his probe is that we are having him speccing very, very heavily into the photon cannon. Compared to the Warp Rift build that we're seeing from players that have showcased it for the UK in the Nations Cup, especially Arena, of course, with a heavy, very heavy focus onto the Warp Rift, which kind of works out quite nicely for him to control the objective. They played on different maps, not necessarily on this one, but it's definitely an interesting style. Again, Panda in a bit of trouble, but with the help of Abathur, that shouldn't really be an issue. I like how No Ruffle is approaching this, though. They take a camp at the top lane, immediately push that through heavily. Panda alone, even with a bit of Abathur help, is going to have some trouble dealing with it. But another attempt. I mean, the Griefers are going full YOLO here. They're invading their opponent's camp, they're all over the place, they're left, right, bottom, center. And to be honest, I don't think that's going to be working out. They're way too far out. Zeratul comes in, and now the oversized minion is in trouble and might even fall, and Yep is down already. Lucio is dead, another big throw. That's going to be the end of Johanna, and that's 3 kills against 0. And the probe in the middle of the map is just zipping around and not accomplishing too much too. So, not the start that normally leads to a successful game here. Tigronix is currently also pausing, just trying to regroup a little bit for the blue team. I mean, they are already excited about all of this, but things are looking very, very good for No Ruffle. Griefers on the Safari are griefing hard in the early game. The level 1, by the way, with the freshest ingredients here for Chen. So, trying to get his Regeneration Globe quest done. Currently sitting at 4 stacks out of 30. With a shield. We're having also with a Deadly Strike. But I'm a little bit worried of these bad boys. We're seeing a build for Abathur that also seems a little bit grief heavy. No carapace for him at all. Instead, speccing heavily into the Toxic Nests. Which then again, to be fair, is a build that in the past has been played quite a bit, especially on Cursed Hollow or other maps where you're trying to get vision over the map and you're trying to slow down rotations. It's just not a build that you see a lot these days anymore, because the Carapace build is just so much better and offers a lot of sustain for your team. And since they're already playing with Lucio, I would have expected them to have an interest to be a bit more sustainable in those fights and have the extra shield and heal out there. That this is not being the case doesn't really bode well for them, I think, because so far the game hasn't really gone their way, and we have just a very clean-cut strategy from No Ruffle. Heavy pushes through the bottom, getting the mercenary camps whenever they can, and just taking opponents down quite easily at that too. Pressure on the wall, the entire thing already taken down, and they're trying to take the fort here, or at least drop the well, and that fountain is already quite low. Zeratul also, and a few hits in, but there's the push against Lucio. And at least for now he escapes. Johanna is actually pushing this in a little bit hard. Keep in mind there's no real range damage. I mean, Probius is going to get the damage numbers out, but there's no sustainable range damage dealer or anything else. So that is definitely going to become a bit of an issue in the long run. But for now, they get a kill and they take down Zeratul here. So the battle at the bot lane works out in their favor. The Warp Rift does solid damage. Nice throw here, as we have LOL Pro being thrown out of harm's way. The two orcs working together. But now all of a sudden the two shrines are under the control of the team in red. The Griefers are currently trying to grief, but so far not successfully. Nice scout. Good job by Abathur, double checking who's in the bush. And Probius could actually move out of that, so that could have been a big issue. Chen is still at that top lane, and so far he's doing well. Went into the Brewmaster's balance on level 7 now. So he's going to get that extra movement speed, which is going to be absolutely fantastic for him. And the regeneration. That can help him against Zeratul too. Valamax is just sneaking it in. It's not actually going to stay too long over here. But the map control goes at this point in time over to the Griefers. They're actually in a position where they're starting to do a little bit of work, and you look at experience and all of a sudden there's no difference anymore. It was a lead earlier for No Ruffle, but things have changed since then. And now we have also the continued build with the tower defense now taken, full photon cannon damage that we're seeing here, cooldown reduction, getting the photon barrier through here as well for the extra armor, and B-Guy is doing well so far. Someone who's not doing too well though is Chen, because he's just always finding himself in these 2 versus 1 situations, and even with the Abathur that becomes an issue, but the Dragonite gets still stuck in the middle of the map. And the Griefers are actually starting to take, well, a lead here. Or at least they could. They're working on it. They're about to get ahead in experience, and they're now still looking at the first Dragonite that works through the wall, takes both of the towers down. And things are starting to become a little bit more difficult. Ainga, on the other hand, is not surviving this. Another quick kill, and a good one at that. And the oversized minion is also not going to make it. Yeah, Lucio who? So yeah, he's dead again. And 5 kills against 1. The Lucio choice is still a bit of an interesting one, even with Abathur, where he can be more of a threat because he just can move in pretty quickly. I'm still wondering why Lucio. I was at first really thinking about them trying to make very quick rotational plays happening with Lucio, but so far we haven't really seen that. So I'm not quite sure how much they're griefing here and how much there is a strategy behind this. Once that we see reverse amp taken, I think we know, but so far it hasn't really come to that. Ancestral Healing as the talent choice on Rhaegar. With him, sometimes you obviously still see that Bloodlust, but with the composition that they're playing here, that wasn't quite an option. Void Prison as well for Zeratul, and they are still continuing to take the map here. We have the Sound Barrier, thank God for that. Sound Barrier, we have the Keg for Chen, so we're going to see the barrel roll for him. No shenanigans with the Triple Panda. Down to the bottom of the map. Another camp taken. Lucio is trying to take a camp. I'll see you in an hour. We have also B-Guy trying to take one, but there comes Zeratul, and welcome to the problem with Probius. But there is an attempt to keep the probe alive. Nice. Sound Barrier comes through, and guess who dies? It's Zeratul. That Void Prison was a good idea to isolate the target. The problem is, as the... they get 2 kills out of it. The problem is when you have that Void Prison in, you also allow your opponent to rotate heroes over in time to help out, and that's exactly what happened. So now we have 5 kills versus 3, because it didn't just end with Zeratul dying. Nope, instead we had 2 falling. The camp that was taken at the bottom of the map is now pushing through. Talking about camps, by the way, this one was never claimed. And Lucio is now over here, again with the Abathur head, which is of course very annoying. They couldn't really get the kill, but they're going to take the camp. And massive mines everywhere. I mean, it's a really annoying composition that the red team is playing. You have a probe to deal with, you have Chen that you somehow need to take down, especially since there's very little real CC outside of the taunt that we're going to see from Garrosh. So on top of that, you also have Lucio, who's just zipping around with an Abathur head. It's definitely a nuisance to go up against this. And the lack of taunt is a problem. Valamax on his Zeratul has to deliver against the probe, and Lucio in the late game, by the way. Like, he has to really be the one that does most of the work there. Quest talents are starting to be completed slowly and steadily. First of all, we're having Dehaka completing his level 1, but Garrosh is obviously also working on the Warbreaker at this point. With the stuns, he's at 11 stacks out of the 15 that he needs, so it shouldn't take him too much longer to make that happen. But we have another attack towards the right side against Lucio. Valamax with a place the entire time, and of course 116 hits for him with a Void Slash. Things are going to become a little bit more grim. And that could be the first objective for the blue team, but as it happens, Chen is back to business topside. And again, Chen is not going up against any stuns outside of the taunt. It's pretty good for him. Can keep himself alive quite easily by drinking the entire time. But down here, Johanna falls, even with the help that she got from Abathur. It's just not enough. And that's the level 13 talent in the hands of No Ruffle. Still a bit of a weird game, with B-Guy now trying to take the position against Tigronix's Junkrat. The fight at the top lane is also raging on, where we have Dehaka and Zeratul going up against Lucio and Chen. the 13 talents on both sides, and that means that with Abathur jumping in, we could see the Soma transference now too. Already going straight for the Void Prison. Here comes the rest of the team, and that's a 4 versus 2 all of a sudden, and a dead Lucio. There is no way that he gets out of this, right? What? Oh my, you gotta be kidding me. It's a 4 versus 3 if you count Abathur as a full hero here, and they actually get a kill and Lucio just escapes, and that creates time for B-Guy at the bot lane to get the damage in. Full cancer build. Full on cancer right now. They're still working to make sure that there's no additional Dragon Knights, and yes, Dehaka is still holding the spot here, but this is just getting nuts. This is getting a bit insane. Not only a bit, if you ask me. So Dehaka is still trying to make the play here. But of course, this is already threatened. Lucio comes in for the quick rotation. Is not able to move Dehaka back though. But they're again going for an objective. Abathur even thinking about moving in here. And the lanes are all of a sudden all getting pushed against the blue team. There's always these moments in the game when you see that no Ruffle is doing exceptionally well, but then they lose a hero or two and the entire thing turns around. And with all the wave clear that we're seeing for the red team, they're starting to just simply push every single lane in. And especially Chen at the top lane is doing fantastic right now. The wall is down. He's going for another camp. And only Zeratul is rotating topside. There's still a push happening at the middle of the map and at the bottom. So things are becoming more dicey, a lot more dicey at that. Top lane pressure. And again, you can't go into a one-on-one versus Chen. It's not going to work out for you. There is going to be an Abathur head eventually, and that is going to give him the survivability that he needs, especially if you consider his level 16 talent. It's not only about the shield here anymore then. Down at the bottom, still Lucio doing his thing. Why Salami just running around the entire time. They have a tough time locking him down. Probius is trying to get the Dragon Knight in the middle, but Garrosh is there. Big fight at the bottom. Yeah, Zeratul, Rhaegar, and Junkrat are trying to go up against Johanna and Lucio, but keep Abathur in mind. He's always making the move down to the bottom whenever these fights happen as well. And Mines, of course, incredibly annoying. There's the taunt, and that should be a kill, but no. Sound Barrier comes through. Great play, actually, from Lucio. Really well done. The Void Prison not connecting here. The ult from Probius, the kill against Garrosh. What the hell? Griefers on Safari with really good execution. I'm still thinking that they could make their own life a little bit easier if they would choose different heroes, but I have to give them a lot of credit for them playing this well with the composition that they use. Wise Salami is just dancing around everybody the entire time. Now on level 16 he's also becoming a bit of a hero with that talent. Great heal power from him now. We're having even the adrenaline boost, even more speed that we're seeing through Abathur. Things are starting to become grim. Lord Pro is on the run, Kick is questioning his life choices here. At the bot lane, Johanna is pressuring Junkrat. Yes, you heard correctly. Johanna is pressuring Junkrat back because there's always the threat of an Abathur coming in. And guess what happens to another Dragon Knight? No, not quite, B-Guy. Oh, that could be the kill. And Abathur is immediately there. Jesus. Abathur is there. That would have been a kill, but with Abathur being right on point, they can't get it, and that could be a Dragon Knight. It is a Dragon Knight. They have the 16 talent too. What a game! What a game, number one. 16 versus 16 finally. Everybody is pissed at why Salami on his Lucio's just running around. The Probe is running around the entire time, but we have Void Slash. Void Slash is in, and we are seeing the Earthgrass Totem. Two talents that are able to get a bit more lockdown. It's one of the biggest problems that we're currently seeing for No Ruffle. They have no hard CC. There's only the taunt, the Void Prison if you want to call it that. And here's the setup. Is there going to be enough damage? The taunt and a kill! There we go. They get one, they get two. Void Slash comes in again. And now we're talking. Especially Rhaegar, of course, can now help out as well with the Earthgrass Totem, as I said before. There's a copy of Abathur about to be destroyed. The fort at the bot lane has fallen, though. Keep in mind, this is a battle without Chen. Chen is still at the top lane. He doesn't care. The Panda is completely zen. And the Dragon Knight, once he goes down, it might actually be a that probe too. Can they get close? No. Was thinking about Lord Pro maybe trying to get a totem in. That didn't quite work out for him. An entire level behind. 7 kills against 5, but who cares about kills if you lose the structures on the map? There comes Rhaegar, trying to defend the top lane and get all of the experience soaked. That works out for them. Damage, by the way. I don't even dare to show it at this point. But, yep, we have Zeratul, as expected. Very high up there. one of the main damage dealers outside of Junkrat, of course. But look at Abathur with that mine build, that tickle damage that comes through all of those toxic nests. 50,000! 50,000 damage for him, Probius on 42k. 27,000 damage on Lucio, by the way. 27,000. That's nearly as much as Junkrat on the other side. The Salami is playing great Lucio here. With Abathur as help, he is able to do a lot so far. But I honestly wonder if the level 16 talent on Rhaegar is going to change things around a little bit. It means a bit more CC, and that's what they're really lacking. It's still not a Storm Ball, it's not a real stun, but it's something, right? And that is maybe going to make a difference, because I think it's their biggest problem. If you play without CC, then a comp that is as mobile as this one and pressuring as heavily can become an issue. Alright, they're going for Chen. Could go for the barrel. There's the taunt, a little bit early if you ask me. And the barrel is there, so he's able to move out of harm's way. So change in cooldowns. Still a trade up for the blue team. No Ruffle has a smaller cooldown here on the taunt. They're still trying to go for the fight here. Void Prison set up, the Riptire, to make it a big battle. And again, the copy on Abathur. They're starting to move in. They go for the Salami, and the Salami goes down. Lucio is dead. They burn the copy down, and no Ruffle is back to business. A hard-fought victory, but they take the kill, and now they can push the top lane. No Ruffle is just simply saying at this point, guys, we're not going to lose to this shit. This isn't happening. This is not happening. Concentrate and play that game. You know we have a great comp here. Can play with that. Maybe not as much range damage as he was or normally try and get in here, since they rely heavily on Junkrat, but yeah. They push as a 5-man, they take the kill, and they're starting to take the fort at the top lane down. And in experience, things are starting to look a little better for them too. But they are still behind. Level 20 should still hit a lot sooner for their opponent. Moves into the middle right now. Alright, taking down another wave. More experience for them, trying to work on the Dragonite too. But the Haka alone can't really deal with this. There's too many toxic nests, photon cannons as well. You can't just solo walk into that, especially since someone still has to soak all of this here. You need to get that experience, and right now nobody's doing this. They're still trying to get the kill. Starting to move in with Zeratul now. But Rhaegar and Junkrat are at the top, and this entire wave is now lost. The level 20 talents are ready for the team in blue, and that gives them the lead again. It means that we have Hive Mind taken. We're also seeing now the construct additional pylons, so that's going to be pretty insane. Not only to boost the ult on level 10, but also just to keep those turrets in play a little bit more. And they're already using it. The taunt comes out. Valamax might have to use his Void Prison to save his buddies. Is thinking about it, but damn, these Void Slashes, Jesus! So much damage here, and they're trying it again, missing the stun. The heal comes through, gets one. The Haka barely gets out. Oh, close call. But they're not getting the kill against anyone. Not against Johanna, not against anyone else, and they still don't have level 20. And up to the top lane, we have now Chen with Abathur, and that's where Tigron draws the line. Not against both of them, but the Haka comes in and helps out, and as long as they can stall this and claim the shrine for a little bit longer, they might get their Storm talents, and that means that we don't see a Dragonite, and we are 17 minutes into the game. There's the 20 for them. And all of a sudden, we're talking about, first of all, Shadow Mending, so that's not going to be too bad, because Valamax had some trouble here to keep himself alive. But more so, when we're looking towards Rhaegar, we're seeing him now with a Storm Shield, and for the big fights, that's definitely a big plus. In addition to that, Contagion being used, of course, and the Cannonball. So, good talents for them, but there's more pressure on the map to come, and that's from Grievous and Safari, who are now starting to focus more and more onto chems, and starting to take the bottom here. Abathur, of course, with mines everywhere, just doing solid work here. Abathur is just such a nuisance, and he proves it again in this game. And I mean, again, look at the damage. 67,000. Can't complain about that at all. Lucio has kind of stopped to contribute as much damage as he did before. He was able to just dance around his opponent the entire time, but now with Void Slash in play and Zeratul being a lot stronger with the Earthgrass Totem on Rhaegar, is starting to play this a bit safer. But still a massive amount of toxic nests, and the slows that come through that are of course another problem that they have to deal with. It offers free damage for their opponent. That being said, in terms of experience, you can already tell that from simply minion waves, the red team did a much better job. Look at that difference in the minion experience. 8,000 nearly. That's actually pretty impressive. A huge discrepancy between the two. Salami with a good pushback just before he's getting taken down. Another camp taken. And the entire situation on the map becomes a little bit annoying because, well, No Ruffle is getting pressure on basically every single lane. That setup, on the other hand, could change things. Riptide is eliminated before he can even go in. And another attempt to get the taunt through. That didn't work. Here comes the sound barrier. Rega using his 20 right away. They go for kick and they get the kill. The Haka goes down. No Ruffle loses a hero. The Griefers with great coordination in the team fight once again, as we're seeing from the outside. Junkrat getting one grenade after another in. They're going for the copy on Johanna. Double Johanna at the front, trying to suck them back in. Another interrupt against the channel on the Dragonite, and this is starting to become a big issue as we're seeing Rega going down to the bottom of the map together with Lucio, trying to claim one of the shrines. Still the poke happening from Junkrat, but here's the problem. Zeratul is low, but he might still get the kill, and he does, but he falls too. Both of them down. Chen on the channel, but those grenades, they just keep coming. Tigronix has to jump out though, and they go again for the interrupt here. Nobody taking a shrine, and eventually they're going to get the Dragonite. We're 20 minutes into the game, and this is another Dragonite for the Griefers on Safari. Big push through the middle now, up to the top side. We're having a camp pushing in as well, and you have to make a choice right now. Do you defend the fort, or do you defend the keep at the bottom? They're trying to make it the keep. They know this could be the end of the game. The top fort is going to fall, but the big question is, can the Griefers end the game with the Dragonite here, considering that Probius is already dead? The damage is coming through. The attack again from Johanna. So much damage coming in here. They go for the Dragonite, and the keep might fall, but I don't think they are going to be able to make it to the core. Especially with Zeratul coming back soon and having the Void Prison up. Once he does, he would be able to delay that long enough for them to burn it down. And they still go for it. There's no way. Yeah, alright, that's what I'm thinking. Just move away for now. There's nothing that he can do at this point. Starting to move back for the time being. But you just look at the minimap. It's a keep down and all three forts eliminated. And what did No Ruffle take? A single fort. That's all that they got. One fort is all that they got so far in the game. They're still ahead in kills, but doesn't help you. That doesn't help you at all. Don't get a medal for most kills here. Well, I guess with Blizzard's system of there's no losers, only winners, and here's your participation medal, they're going to get some kind of achievement or reward towards the end, but doesn't really mean they're going to win the game. What matters is, do you take down the core or not? And in structures, we have a massive reason already. You look again at experience and just look at the passive experience. That's going to increase a lot now. Another attempt to set something up here. They're going for Lucio. Nope, you're not going to be able to catch up with him. Here comes again the barrel, and that negates everything they're trying to set in place. Once again, Blessed Shield comes out against Zeratul. He jumps away, but we still have the Void Prison here. Going in again, big slash, and Sastra comes in. Oh, the big stun! And that's the copy already gone. Abathar lost the copy, but is someone going to die here? Valamax, again, moving out. The 20 healing him, but everybody is dead and dying. There's mines everywhere. Photon cannons too. And Garrosh is about to fall. He goes down. The Griefers are absolutely rocking with this cancer comp that they're playing here. Damn, son. Chen, can he win games? That's the big question. And right now it looks like the answer is yes. There comes the immediate sound barrier. Lucio and Abathar, Probius, Chen and Johanna. And they are actually starting to take it. 22, 23 minutes into the game, and they're pushing for the second keep. By the way, Taste for Explosion, nearly done now. Actually completes it. Completes it at this point. So big damage increase on him. But what does that help you? He's still sitting at 78,000 damage. He's getting the damage through, but does that help in any way? No, you're losing one keep after another. The entire map is painted red, basically, and you are down to the core and a single keep. That's the only thing that we're currently seeing here. Another camp about to be taken, and they're just running all over the place. They have mines all over the map, and it is just absolutely brutal. 85,000 damage on Probius alone. And look at the wave clear. 240,000 damage from the probe. It is crazy. Crazy game so far, and you have to fight for that Dragonite, because if you let this Dragonite be taken, and they actually let it through, they're too late. They're too late. They didn't move in at time. And now all of a sudden the DK can just simply walk towards the core. They're trying to get a kill, and they will eliminate Lucio, but now they have to deal with this. And he's just walking towards the core. He just doesn't care. Junkrat is already trying to do what he can. Here comes the barrel trying to buy a little bit more time. And with the Void Prison just being used to kill Lucio, it also means you can't use it on the core now. You can't use it at the point in time on the core. So another big problem. And that guy just hits like a truck, and the rest of the team is of course moving into. The core is falling, and it's actually happening. The red team wins game number 1. The Griefers on Safari successful against No Ruffle in the first game of the series. Game number 2, everybody. We have Infernal Shrines and Meneldore's Meme Machine. Team Triple M goes up against Ryzing Gaming. And the Butcher, he was hungry in the last game, and they were able to take it on Dragonshire. So Ryzing Gaming all of a sudden in the lead against the number 1 in the Division 1 standings. The Meme Machine here, of course, headed into the playoffs already after a strong season in Division 1 of Heroes Launch. And with the playoffs coming up, another thing that we also have to throw out there is a new season is starting in just a few weeks. So if you want to play in Heroes Launch, make sure that you check it out. Heroeslaunch.gg is the website. They have a huge FAQ that basically answers all the questions you can come up with. You can sign up as a 5-man, you can sign up as an individual player. All your questions are going to get answered there. But if you want to be part of a competitive amateur scene, no matter what level of play you are, being Grandmaster or Bronze, doesn't really matter, then check them out for sure. But we still have one more game in Division 1, or one more match to be completed, and this is the one at hand here. So the lead for Ryzing Gaming, but now Tyrande and Kerrigan banned out from Triple M. The entire Kerrigan setup a little bit too much. I mean, a good Kerrigan, especially in the choke points on the shrines, on Infernal Shrines, can take you apart. So for now, Kerrigan banned out. We have the ban against Maiev, and also in this case Gul'dan. And then immediately head into Zeratul. As Zeratul isn't banned, they first of all take Zeratul away from the Diablo composition, so there's no chance to go into a Void Prison Apocalypse setup. But still, with especially, of course, Jaina still out there, Ring of Frost needs to be a bit of concern. Now, Triple M has several ways how they can address it. They can either pick Jaina for themselves, with maybe a Malfurion as a follow-up on the roots, or they can also ban Jaina out if they want to, if it's something that they're concerned about. And they pick Jaina for themselves. They don't go into Malfurion here. Instead, we're having them with White Mane chosen, so White Mane with insane heals, and of course also the Aegis on the shrine, still super powerful. But again, the Diablo engage on the shrine, you trying to get those wall stuns going, will really help Jaina to get all of the damage out as well. So, if there is still the attempt to play around the Void Prison and burst damage after it, you still have options if you're looking at Ryzing Gaming. They could, for example, go into Ophir, which we've seen a little bit more. Even a ban on Illidan right now. They definitely watched some of the games that Triple M played this season. And this is one of the cool things of any kind of league. You're not only playing against the meta that is strong on the map, you have so much data to look at an opponent and really just study. How do they play in general? How do they play on a certain map? What are heroes that they oftentimes bring out? And you can start to really target specific players on the other side to try and whittle those down. Enuburak banned out. We still have strong main tanks though. Johanna is still out there, Muradin is still available. With Enuburak, obviously some of the dive potential that you can execute is now gone. But especially Johanna gets a lot of wave clear on those shrines and is oftentimes an early pick. Depends really a bit of how you want to play it. Tyrael and Blaze are still up too, so if you want to play around those, you can. Kel'Thas being picked, and Muradin. Alright, Kel'Thas with the Gravity Lapse. Always great whenever you have stun setup, but even outside of that, controlling those choke points is great. Muradin leads with the Stormbolt, you get the Gravity Lapse through, allow people to do damage. And the last pick, that's going to be the interesting one. So, high level KT here. I mean, Infernal Shrines is one of the 2-3 maps where KT can really shine. But they could have gone into Gul'dan and Chen plus Alarak. Now keep in mind, the Meme Machine is pretty secure in the number 1 position. And the name already gives it away. They like to meme a little bit, but now they bring the Chen in and an Alarak with that. So a bit of a fan service here too, getting the Panda into play. Hopefully with a proper skin. I mean, we need the War Master. War Master, white War Master Chen on a pink money pick is obviously the best composition. I'm going to grade. I'm going to give points for the proper setup here. Skinner G needs to be real for Sugar Daddy, but I believe in him. And we have a Leo on the other side trying to drain Chen here. Stuns with Muradin, of course, against the old drunk. But Leo, of course, another good choice if you just want to drain it for the solo lane. He's solid as well. Game number 2. Let's jump in. We have Triple M versus Ryzing Gaming. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Triple M going up against Ryzing Gaming once more. And we find ourselves on Infernal Shrines with Menaldor's Me Machine on the left side of the map. Death Knight on Diablo. Menaldor on Alarak. We have Martin on Whitemane. Slake on Jaina. And Sugar Daddy on Chen. On the right side of the map, on the other hand, we're currently looking at Ryzing Gaming. They are in the lead after a butcher play in Game 1 on Dragonshire. Dakbar on Alexstrasza. Khazdarat on Muradin. Kragoral on Zeratul. Obst on Kel'Thas. And Blank on Leoric this time. Going into Consume Vitality on level 1. We have a Chen in game, so after we actually see Chen in a competitive match, voluntarily picked, it can only be days until Blizzard realizes they need to nerf Chen again, because this is unacceptable. Clearly, the hero is absolutely overpowered if he's now getting picked in a match. So far, rumors are that Chen's only made it into games when someone randomed and got Chen, but now we're having a bit of a different setup. Okay, Sugar Daddy still with a decent skin here, let it slide. War Master hasn't been chosen here, so it's a little bit of a minus point, but his variation is still okay. I'm going to let that slide for now. If you pick Chen, it's a good one. So yeah, please nerf the Panda. Clearly OP. Has been voluntarily picked. Can't have that. In terms of talents, we have the Spell Shield on level 1 for Diablo. We're also now looking again onto a level 1 choice here. The Fresh Ingredients. Looking at those regeneration globes. I really want to also see what the choice on level 7 is for Chen, if we're going to get some of those instant shields. Outside of that though, level 1 for Alexstrasza, in this case, heading into the Circle of Life here. So a lot of the heroes already dancing around regeneration globes here. Not only Chen, we have the same going on for Alexstrasza here. Obviously, Kel'Thas not going into convection, but instead still heading into his mana addict, which makes perfect sense. You need that shield, especially when Chen starts to jump your ass, or Alarak comes in and says hello. So need to be ready for that. Zeratul definitely going to be one of the linchpins in the combo that we're seeing for the blue team. And Ryzing Gaming, sorry, red team obviously. Zeratul on the other side here. And if Ryzing Gaming is able to win a second game, that would be a 2-0 victory over the number 1 in the standings, as we are starting to head into those playoffs. That said, teams at this point, I mean, there's a little bit of skirmishes going on in the middle, right? But nothing crazy. Like, no one is going to fully commit to a fight just yet. They're all waiting for the next objective here. Chen with a bit of a variation now on level 4 with the Ring of Fire. So really trying to get the additional AoE damage out. Which is, especially for the map, of course, great if you are trying to get more out of the objective. So a pretty solid setup here to make sure that you are getting that AoE together with the rest of the team. And I mean, just look at the setup that we're seeing for the red team. They have a lot of AoE around Kel'Thas. They have also Leoric, of course, with the Skeleton Swing here that he can provide. And with Zeratul, you have so much clear on the Shrine that you can really race your opponent and try and get those minion stacks first. So having the adjustment on Chen makes a lot of sense to add a little bit more AoE to your own setup, since outside of that, they are heavily hinging on Jaina to deliver. They have a bit more on Alarak and Diablo, but it's definitely not quite on the level of their opponent here. Level 4 talents are in and gay. Okay. Khazdarat on his Muradin jumps out. Chen is still at the top lane, but will make the rotation in just a few moments. Blank on his Leo is already busying himself on the Shrine and starting to take the first few for his team. And this is our 5 versus 4 as Zeratul is bot lane. So now the blue team in definitely an advantageous situation, but experience is going to be a bit quicker for the red team. Diablo is far out. Obst is down. Kel'Thas immediately dead. Gets jumped here, and Sugar Daddy is already starting to body block Alexstrasza. The dragon a bit too thick, but able to still walk away here and move everybody back out. The problem is, They're giving up the position, of course. They give up the position. The kill against Alexstrasza would have been fantastic for them in the meme machine, but they're not getting it just yet. They can't stagger it, but now Alex and Kalthas are slowly coming back into the middle. But as you can already tell, there's a huge lead for Triple M when it comes to stacks. Zeratul moved back box side to get another wave, and this is experience lost to the meme machine. But they're still going to be okay with that. They rotated heroes onto the top at least, even though Leoric pushed in another wave that they're losing now. So even despite the fact that they are about to win the Punisher, they're slightly behind experience. And they have to make up for that by now getting some damage done with the Punisher. And, well, the Punisher is already starting to make his way through the middle here. Outside of that, we have by now Skullcracker taken for Muradin, by the way. Little tiny interrupts against Chen. Good interrupts against Chen. It's one of the best talents against him if you keep those auto attacks just going against him. But of course, you need to make sure that you're also on him whenever he starts drinking. Intercession has been taken, and the Brewmaster's Balance on level 7 for him now. So Chen is obviously all about the survivability and about trying to dive in deep into the opponent's backline and really just disrupt the flow of the game for your opponent. Especially for a hero like Kalthas, for example. If Chen can go in, be completely on him with a flying kick and then disrupt, that's pretty much the dream. And then after level 10, the question is how Mimi do you want to get? Are we going to see the barrel roll, for example? Do we see the keg? Or are we going to see him instead just going straight for the triple panda? And both of that would be kind of viable depending on how you want to run this show. Sugar Daddy at the top. The daddy is in the house, and he is currently bodying the janitor a little bit, who's just trying to clean here. He has one job, and that's trying to clean the trash out at the top lane, and so far Blank is struggling with that. The Willing Vessel now taken, draining a little bit more, trying to make sure that he can sustain himself against Chen on the top lane. And keep in mind, Chen is in the top lane pretty strong. Talking about strong, experience gain from the red team, from Ryzing Gaming, is pretty strong too. They're still in a great spot here. So they might head into that earlier level 10. It's not going to be a big advantage. The added advantage for Triple M is that they opened the map up a little bit. They were able to do that. So they opened the map up and at least have the wall taken out here. They haven't really succeeded in taking the fountain yet. But it doesn't really come into play for the next objective yet. That's, on the other hand, a really good setup against Muradin, and he is down. Muradin dead as we're seeing the deep dive on to Kalthas. Sugar Daddy with the body blocks and now the double kill. The bombs are spreading, but they're still moving away from those. Great kills here by Jaina. Good move especially from Death Knight on Diablo after Muradin tried to escape. Pushed him back into the blizzard. And then Sugar Daddy coming in to body block Kalthas and drop him too. Both of the teams now on level 10 abilities. But with that, we're having the Kek. Top Kek plays right there. Or at least the potential for them. March of the Black King, on the other hand, for Leo. Bit torn on that, but then again, you are up against 3 melee heroes. So you should get decent value out of it. But of course, you're missing out on the level 20 power spike with a Buried Alive. So once that the game heads that late into the game, that talent would have gotten more value for him for sure. Daddy is just I love that. That is actually a fantastic gif for when you play Chen. That is brilliant. It's like, no. You have no stun, you are not going to do anything to me. I really don't care. If you have a stun, we can talk about it, but if you don't have a stun, then just get out of my lane. So, with that, we have now still both of them just soaking experience, but it's the top lane pressure that we have to look out for. If you want to go and keg someone, it kinda has to be either Alexstrasza, but more so Kalthas. There are not too many keg targets here. Muradin can jump out, Zeratul blinks away, Leoric uses the Wraith Walk, so if you want to go for a couple of top keg plays, then it's literally Kalthas that you are aiming for. And they're gonna try and do that. 3 kills against 0 in the game, as we already discussed, but now the time to shine. Sugar Daddy is already looking for the engage. He's already another round. Well, let's see how much he can actually do here. Oh, he's actually getting bodied a little bit. Daddy needs to be careful. He's already moving away. 6 stacks also on the objective for Ryzing Gaming. They're really starting to dominate that little 5 versus 5 here. But we haven't seen a lot of ults committed yet. Jaina, by the way, with the Water Elemental. trying to slow down, of course, especially Zeratul, if she gets a chance to get close enough to him. There's the setup, and Leo is about to fall. Apocalypse sits in and drops hard. Down goes Leo right away. Alexstrasza with their own ult, trying to not only keep the teammates alive, but delivering a bit of damage too. Kel'Thas is low, and there's the barrel. Top keg play from Chen as he goes straight in for the keg and is able to deliver kill number 2 into the hands of his team. 5 kills against 0 right now. And the rotation towards the shrine, as we have Zeratul kind of realizing, this isn't really going too well for us, is it now? I might just well go into the middle and play around that. Get more experience, escort another wave into the towers, hope that no one else rotates down so that the blue team is losing a bit more of the momentum that they currently start to build up. Level 13, a touch of honey. A little bit more slow, a little bit more control. The 13 talent with a harsh discipline on white main. Even more lockdown. Zeratul isn't here. I'm actually a bit surprised that we don't see a rotation from Chen either. Now he's making the move after they're trying to get the kill. Starts moving straight into the middle here. Another round. And gets experience for them. With a talent lead, 5 kills against 0 and another Punisher. We're seeing a heavy aggression towards the top fort. That one should be a goner. They already dropped the fort in the middle, and now they're going for the next one. Starting to push it deep behind the opponent. Dragon Queen committed to. They are careful here. Chen locked down in the battle with Zeratul for a moment. Zeratul moved out. Oh, Muradin with the avatar. He has the healing static, is trying to keep himself alive, and so far it works out. But now we have Death Knight still at the side here. Sugar Daddy going in with a touch of honey. Alara completing the level 1 quest and dropping Kel'Thas. Another stun, this time against Zeratul. And yep, Diablo is just going for it and takes him down. Leo dies too, and oh my god. Triple M, the meme machine, they are mad. They are angry. Losing game number 1 against the Butcher composition was not something they expected. And now they're just dropping nerds all over the place. 9 kills against 0. The fort is gone. The wall obliterated. The keep wide open. And we have Triple M moving in. Chen already jumping in deep. Stormbolt interrupts him for a moment. Silence combo onto Leo. And he barely survives. That was a close call there. Barely gets out of this one. But a turnaround attempt against Chen. The Panda. Ooh, and that's it. White maid. Maybe. Chen. And he goes down. White main actually helping him to survive for way longer than I expected. But yeah, Chen still falls. In the meantime, they're going for Leo again. Harsh discipline, baby. It was a little bit too harsh for Leo. He didn't expect to get punished that hard. Leoric wasn't punished that hard since they took him down the first time in Diablo 1. There's the kill against Kel'Thas though, and Alexstrasza follows, and Alarak is just wrecking all of them. Down goes Zeratul. What started with a kill against Triple M is now ending in disaster for Ryzing Gaming. Stun into the wall, and you can clap all the way, little dwarf, but you're not going to have an impact in this fight. Needs to move out. Diablo still low, but surviving for now, and they're trying to turn it around against Leoric now as well. March of the Black King. The Swisher is moving and is starting to clean the face of Martin on his white main in particular. But the keep is still there. The keep is there. Triple M got so mad after the Panda was taken out. They said, like, we're going to call Peter because that's not cool. And then they dropped 3. They punished the offenders, but they weren't able to take down the fort, the keep at the top lane. So with that, we have now 13 kills against 1. Total fiesta here. Well, actually not quite a fiesta. I mean, it's a little bit of a brawl, but at the same time, we're having actually some pretty sick plays. 16 talents now against 14. And on 16, we have our little Panda with a flying leap. So heavy engage into that backline. That Kel'Thas better stay far, far away, or he is going to get kicked into the opponent. And he's not the only one, by the way. With the Northern Exposure here, you have also the blow-up potential from Jaina increased even more than it is already. Leo needs to be careful with that. Doesn't have a 16 yet. Still able to move out. Harsh discipline is here, not connecting. And down at the bottom of the map, Chen is literally just sitting there. It's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Zeratul? Hit me? Good luck with that. What do I care? Muradin is someone that he doesn't like too much. So once he sees the dwarf, he's immediately out. Skullcracker on 7. Stormbolt's baselines. Like, nah, maybe that's one of the guys that I don't want to face anytime soon. We're 13 minutes in, by the way, and Kel'Thas has still not gotten 20 orbs. So globes, so a little bit of a sad development over there. 19 now finally is getting into an area where he can do a little bit more with the shield. That's an Arcane Punisher, by the way, in the middle of the map that spawns right now. 16 versus 16 talent. That's the Void Slash finally coming in. But here we go. That's the moment. 10 already ahead for Triple M. If the meme machine takes this one, it might spell trouble. And here's the Panda. It's time for the Keck, baby! But the Void Prison is stopping it for now. Already the Dragon in play. And now here comes the attempt to go for a kill. Slake in particular is low. Apocalypse hits Muradin, and that's not the only thing that hits him. Muradin is actually getting hit pretty hard by the Blizzard there too. Zeratul barely getting out ult on Alexstrasza just as the Dragon is over. Daddy is on the move back. Zeratul still on the chase, trying to see if he can get a kill somewhere. But now all of a sudden we're having him in trouble. The combo hits, and Alarak with the help of Chen takes him down. Another stun into the wall. Here Muradin jumping away. Leo on the run already. Ryzing Gaming in trouble. Blank moving in, moving out, and is falling to Jaina eventually. Maybe trying to escape here. Maybe able to get away. Slake is still on it. Running out of mana, by the way. Over here to the left as Muradin falls. We're having Kel'Thas also attack. Tries to get the shield out. Death Knight the entire time making sure that he body blocks his opponent. Leo is the only one who gets away towards the left. Alexstrasza is taking the right side. The camp and the catapults took down the keep. Everything is falling apart here for Ryzing Gaming at this point in time. They are having so much trouble with this. And now, with 31 stacks that they got, they have to watch how the meme machine is getting another Punisher. They are the ones who will complete the 40 and will then take another big Punisher into the mid lane. Even delaying it right now. Delaying it so they can set up a few more camps and get closer to level 20. If they are able to delay this until they are 19.5 and level 20 talents drop in the meantime, that would be an absolute disaster. So now Alarak is down here, is taking even more experience, is saying like, well, we just take another wave or two, and then we move in. And if we just drop a little bit more, another wave, another two, then we have Storm Talents, and we're talking, baby. Then we are talking right here. And, yeah, let's look at the damage output here. I mean, look at Chen, 29,000 damage. That ain't too bad. Same level as Diablo. Siege damage, 87,000 from him, and he's been beat up pretty heavily. Taking more damage than Diablo, too. But here, they start moving in, again, towards the keep. And that is going to be level 20. With a Punisher, and all of a sudden with Storm Talents, we're looking core. And that would be game number 3. I mean, that keep is falling. The question is just simply, are you going to end the game here, yes or no? And there we have it already. Wintermute and the unstoppable potential. Time to shine. Alexstrasza with the old ones. Again, the deadly charge. Void Prison in the back. Apocalypse is coming out and is trying to lock them into place. Zeratul is dead as Diablo dove deep for the kill. We're already having Alexstrasza and the Dragon form here trying to buy time for the team. The Punisher is dead and they're holding. They're holding for now. They lost Zeratul, but they are holding for the time being. Or do they? Oh, Muradin goes down, but massive damage also against the blue team. Blank moved in, and they were able to drop Alexstrasza with the help of Kel'Thas. But now Whitemane, Alexstrasza is dead too. And they're getting everyone else on there. Yeah, Kel'Thas is dead. Only Diablo died, but everybody is so low that I'm not sure they can end now. There's catapults pushing in. But there's the Swiver action from Blank as he's trying to hold on to the core. He's the only survivor here, and it's not looking good. Maynildor and Sugar Daddy both jump in. They get the kill. Down goes Leoric, and that is going to be game as we have the meme machine pushing this series into game number 3 and tying it on Infernal Shrines. Game number 3. We're on Towers of Doom, and let's check out how this is going to work out now for Triple M and Ryzing Gaming. We saw, I don't want to say opposite games, it wasn't quite that much, but when it comes to the meme potential, I really think that Triple M was a bit out-memed on the first map when we had the Butcher on the other side, but then they went straight into the Chen, and as it turns out, that Chen is pretty badass. Now we have Maiev banned out again. Towers of Doom is the final map of the series. We are still in Division 1, of course, of Heroes launch. And there comes the ban on Diablo. Don't deal with the Apocalypse anymore. Pretty quick bans here. Could see his ban on Zeratul again. You have to think about Abathur a little bit as well, of course. Genji is still out there. So there's options of what, from a meta perspective, you're actually trying to ban. But right now, the front line taken away first of all, and then Maiev eliminated. And from that point onward, when we're coming to that last span, you're a little bit more up to really make a choice here. Karrigan, not risking anything here. Ryzing Gaming, they like to play aggressive with the Karrigan, and this time they don't get the chance. For me, the first question is, where does Dehaka land? Is Sugar Daddy again going straight in on the Dehaka for the offlane, or are they going to play something else for him this time? We have Ryzing Gaming opening up with Tyrande once more. She was taken away a few times in previous games, even banned out. And now they get that stun again. And obviously, when you're playing on Towers of Doom, the Owl can also just like home in, Hedwig to the face, full Harry Potter style, and then you get the interrupt whenever someone is channeling. White main early on again with a Jaina. So now there's immediately a lot of combo potential. Zeratul comes, of course, to mind with the Ring of Frost. You can use him as a setup. Diablo has already been banned out, but you can still use any other Stormbolt setup to really deliver for Jaina. And it doesn't have to be a Ring of Frost. Even the Blizzard alone and the Cone of Cold can do a whole lot of work here. But Ryzing Gaming, they have now their next picks, and you want to see some setup for Tyrande. So with Jaina already picked, they pick it away from the Tyrande composition, but now Greymane comes in. Bit more old school. You go in with an Uberak, you go deep, and then Greymane jumps in. You still have the choice between the Cursed Bullet or go for the Throat. Depends a bit on how aggressive they want to be into the opponent's backline and what else is going to be picked by Triple M, but you can make that adjustment later on. But Greymane in the setup is actually really powerful, because with the Nubarak together, not only do you have with that triple that they already established good kill potential, but you can also start pushing structures quite easily. And Nubarak provides the beetles, they soak up the damage, and then Greymane just delivers and raises down the structure. So that's definitely pretty sweet on their end. It's multiple layers that they have with the draft already, even though we didn't go into pick number 4 and 5 yet. Abathar, we talked about him as the draft started, now addressed and banned out, and we have Arthur's eliminated, so you also won't see a combination between Arthur's and Jimmy. Arthur's, of course, mainly banned out here because A, he's really powerful in offlane these days, he's a great setup together with Jimmy, and they don't want both of them to be taken, and also Arthur's is a great hero when you play into Greymane, so that's another thing to consider. And we have Dehaka and Zeratul being played, and that means that we have our setup now for the Jaina Ring of Frost. And that's what we were worried about, or what I mentioned a bit earlier. Because you could have let Arthas through and ban Zeratul, but that still means you have all of a sudden Jaina, Reyna, and Arthas to deal with. They decided in favor of a different setup. And now we're rolling out with Sergeant Hammer being straight up picked here from Ryzing Gaming. And wow! What? A Nubarak solo tank? No other melee hero, not counting Greymane here, is not really the offlaner that you usually see. Yes, he has a walk-in form with a melee form, but it's not quite a second tank or a bruiser at the front. So, damn, that is a bit old school. I mean, that is like 2-3 years ago when we had single tank, triple backline. Ballsy play. And Jojo coming in now on the side of Triple M. The meme machine. Alright, I am very interested to see how Ryzing Gaming is going to make that work. Guys, last game, Towers of Doom, we're heading straight in, the series is tied, and now who's going to claim victory on Towers? Let's jump straight into it. Game number 3, Ryzing Gaming against Triple M. And on the left side, a Death Knight on Johanna, Martin on Whitemane, Menaldor on Zeratul, we have Sugar Daddy back on Dehaka, and Slake on Jaina. And on the right side of the map, it's Dakbar on Tyrande, Kragoral on Greymane, Kazdarat on Anubarak, Blank on Hammer, and Obst on Li Ming. Triple backline setup now for the red team. And it's going to be really difficult for them to make that play. If you only have a Nubarak at the front line, this is pretty insane because you will get blown up every single time you are exposed. The only way you can make a setup like this work is if you are the ones dictating the pace of the game. You have to be the ones engaging into the fight and blow the target up right away with a setup around a Nubarak into a stun from Tyrande and then the damage coming from Greymane and Li Ming. And there is reset potential that you can make play. And of course, you have also to keep Hammer in mind here. But it is a very, very squishy setup. And when I look towards the setup with, on the other side, with the Void Prison into the Ring of Frost potentially, that's scary. But here's the attempt to go for those quick kills that I just talked about. Menaldor barely gets out. Martin is also on the run. And Slake trying to move in from the side to deliver some damage to Dakbar himself. Martin is still low here. Cooldowns are going to be back soon, but they're moving out of harm's way for now. But as the game continues and the poke comes through, Ryzing Gaming is going to be in a lot of trouble with this particular composition. If they gain the momentum, it is something that can still work out, but there's a reason why solo tank plays have pretty much fallen out of style in the last 3 years. I think for 3 years we've basically not seen a meta in which solo tank and triple backline were actually the preferred style. Daddy, on the other hand, goes down against Hammer right now, and Blank is taking that kill with ease. A bit of a miscalculation here from Dehaka, and that bodied him very, very quickly. So, with that said, we still have them taking, or attempting at least to take the mercenary camp here. On the other side, we see the exact same approach, so nobody is going for an invade at this point in time. Top lane, Dehaka had to borrow back onto the lane to not lose any of the experience here. Bit of damage coming in from Khaldor himself, but he's not the only one. Nubarak tries to land the stun. And has also gone into the Carapace build, by the way. So on level 1, we're seeing him even with the Nubian armor, against Jaina mainly. Not playing around with the Regeneration Master, as he could in this game. Ooh, good damage here again from Obst. Trying to get as much in as he possibly can. But with the Blizzard, they have the wave clear now to burn that wave down very, very quickly. Level 4 talents are in, and with that, again, stun here. Trying to work on the first quest already, but picked the talent a bit delayed. Dakba here with this Tyrande. Pretty much what you would expect in terms of talents. Obviously, Dominance is a must-have in this setup now. We're having also Shed Exoskeleton taken, but the first triple altar phase is on the map. And with that, we're still having the push top. Now keep in mind, Hammer has a very tough time rotating, so the chances of her rotating are slim to none. It's all about Sugar Daddy. Is he making the approach onto the bottom of the map or not? That's pretty much the biggest question. And it's all going to be about this altar. There's very, very, very likely going to be an exchange between top left, top right. Already the channel from Hammer about to be started. But down here, it's a different story, because Hammer is going to need a lot more time than Dehaka to make that rotation. So both of them channeling top left, top right, and now Hammer can move slowly down, but there's already Dehaka. So it's a 5 versus 4 already as it stands. There's the connect against the Nubarak, and he's dead immediately. 4 versus 5 as Dehaka moves in, and the Nubarak is just too squishy and cannot sustain himself through that. They're going for blank now. Good move though. Nice pushback, making sure that Sugar Daddy can't connect the tongue here. But they're still fighting for this one. They're still trying to see if they can maybe hold it for long enough. In comes the Owl, interrupting Martin again. But at that point, the zoning is just a bit too strong. And the next altar is channeled by the blue team. Job well done by them here. So now once again, the pressure onto the bot lane. But we're coming back to the big problem. That's going to be in those fights, having long unsustainable fights with only running a single tank. The backline is very squishy, so you need to make sure that, again, you initiate, you get the kill, just as they're trying to do right now at the bottom of the map. They're going for Jaina, and she is down. Exactly the play. You have to go in, you have to initiate the fight, and then you can make the play there. Martin trying to get the damage in against Kragoral, but with Jaina down, they can't really make this play for too much longer. Have to be careful. But a good 4-man engage now from Ryzing Gaming, paying their opponent back in kind. And they don't only want to have 3 heroes with damage, they want all the damage. That's why we're seeing the Wizened Duelist now for Greymane. That talent, of course, was changed quite a while ago, but now it's not quite as punishing anymore if you die. Still a talent where you're trying to get the damage over and over again here. So with that, we're having now at the bottom of the map Khaldor trying to zone out Death Knight. Death Knight actually went in pretty deep for this, trying to buy some time with the rest of the team. Here comes the Condemn and Dehaka tries to get the drag, doesn't connect it. Everybody leaves Tyrande alone in the backline, but Greymane is exposed, and he's falling. Death Knight himself still gets away, and they're looking for another kill as Zeratul just puts Tyrande into a corner, and that's the second kill right there. 2 kills secured. Hammer alone at the top, trying to get the value right now. As I said before, Hammer won't be able to rotate down at any point. She's just too slow. Even with her Z, it's just not enough. So Hammer is just pushing this as much as she can. But down at the bottom of the map, we have 2 kills against Ryzing Gaming. And on top of that, the camp stolen too. So even more pressure right now against those structures. 3 are still there. Can get the damage in against the keep itself. Shots, of course, with the altar. Also fired against the core. With 2 heroes down, there's nothing that they could do about it. And Dehaka is back to business. Sugar Daddy will have to use the globe a little bit more often, maybe to even burrow back onto lane, just to make sure they're not losing too much of the XP. But at this point in time, they're still on exactly identical levels with their opponent. 2 stacks for Grey Main still. And we're having them now to the bottom of the map, still setting something up to see if they can maybe get a kill there at any point. And they're starting to make the play. Again, Iron Skin being used. Jaina a bit late. Wasn't quite working out as they were hoping for. They were trying to set Johanna up at the side there. But it's again pressure onto the bell tower itself. And if you compare the bottom pressure towards the top, bell tower at the top left hasn't even taken damage yet. So that's another problem. Wave clear coming in from Sugar Daddy again. Already starting to threaten Hammer. And there is Zeratul. Zeratul goes in, gets a bit of damage in. They have a level 10. But they can't make a play here yet. Eating all up the mines for now. But now level 10 abilities are in. And with that we have the Ring of Frost and Void Prison set up. Now on the other side, Hammer not going into the BFG. They have enough damage. They don't need that. They have a lot of explosive damage, so BFG is not necessarily the tool that they need, but more wave clear on Hammer is going to allow to play the macro game a little bit more. So that's what we're currently seeing. 2 altars on the map, and normally we would see an even trade here. I don't think that anything is going to change from that, but at least Triple M is playing this, I mean, I don't want to say aggressive, but they're at least setting up there. Both of the teams are completely fine of letting that happen, I would assume, unless one of them says, alright, we need to push this out even more aggressively for now. Yeah, well, over there. 1 channel started, second one too. Need to eat the owl if she comes through. Drag against the Nuburak and the stun, and the buck is down once again. Void Prison setup, it's time for the ring, baby! And that ring did not hit. Ring doesn't hit, but they might still get a kill out of this. And they do. They take down, they might even get both. They take down Tyrande, get the second kill. The ring combo not quite working out for them. Was a good thought, but that timing was slightly off. They're still able to get the kill though. But it highlights the problem again of the red team. They went for super aggressive composition. And as I said before, there is a reason why this type of composition has not been successful really in 3 years. Why the meta shifted towards having 2 tanks or a tank and an offlaner. Bruiser, offlane bruiser. So right now, this setup isn't really working for Ryzing Gaming. They're going to be looking for the kills though, and as I said before, the kill potential on their end is fantastic, but now they're losing control of the map. They lost the bottom bell tower, they haven't even scratched the one at the top yet. The Haka is still moving back into that, and now down here at the bottom of the map it's just all about the lane control, all about trying to control those mercenaries that are moving through. So Zeratul taking care of the mid lane again. And this is the thing, Hammer at the top lane might be able to push the lane out, but she's not able to rotate between lanes and soak too. So Dehaka doesn't have to do that either. Strike down here in trouble, Cocoon on the ground, and exactly that aggressive stance that I've been talking about the entire time is being executed. Great ring, and Dehaka moving in as well. And all of a sudden, Li Ming gets the kill against Jaina. Jaina a bit too aggressive here, tries to help out, tries to get the damage in, but we're having the quick calamity, and that's the kill. Quite ready. Obst is trying to move away, but nope, that's another kill right there. Li Ming is dead too, nearly being able to escape, but a good shield glare into the bush interrupts the portal as she was attempting to get away. Didn't have a chance to move to the right. Path of retreat was already cut off, but now that's another 5 shots fired right here. Hammer in trouble, but gets the kill against Zeratul, and the Haka has already started to move back onto the lanes. 32 against 19 points on the course now. And with Zeratul dead, they might have a chance to move down towards the bottom and reclaim the bell tower. But Hammer has now also started to rotate over and over. So having top side at this point. Already Sugar Daddy in position again to push the wave out. Camps are being taken again. And I mean, Megalodon's Mean Machine is going to be fine with this. They're still a level ahead. They have also a much better position on the core itself. And they have now, with 13 talents, a lot of good tools to really lock someone down. I mean, Harsh Discipline just being one example that they can utilize now in these fights. And they're going to try and do that. And Nuburak again on the move back. Ults are all up. And they have Zeratul back too. But they're not making any commitments just yet. Not making a play with that yet. Ah, there's the play from Zeratul at least. Trying to go for White Mane. Not quite. Not just now. Blessed Shield has been used too. Greymane moves away, but they're all on the run. And again, the attack against Nuburak. And he barely gets out. The Cocoon was used in the backline against Jaina, and that eliminated a lot of the damage. But we still have the combo up. Zeratul could try and land the Void Prison, but they need to push this at the bot lane. They moved Dehaka down, and with Dehaka now at the bottom of the map, Hammer has free reign of the top lane, and is getting that for sure. Hammer is going to get the top lane if she has a bit more time, so they try to make the trade the bottom for the top, so that both of them are still looking at 4 bell towers, but the advantage, of course, being the control over the mercenary camps that would still threaten the core directly. So now we have 3 more altars up on the map. Blank is already taking an aggressive position towards the top side and is waiting. Has been spotted out by Meneldo though, but here come those channels. And the left side is interrupted. Li Ming is getting the right side. Bottom of the map, taken by Dehaka, who is now also escorting this in, by the way, so that's another potential problem. As the Ring of Frost didn't do as much as they were hoping for, but they get the kill against the Nubarak anyways, don't they? They might just barely able to avoid it. No! Zeratul has the hit. Even with the cocoon, a noob not able to survive. Another channel, though, for the red team. They were able to make it happen. They channeled it through. They got their 4 extra shots down to the bottom, though. Yep, Camp is getting the damage in. 3 more shots fired. Fight at the top. Greymane already down. They're moving in again. In comes Zeratul. Meneldo wants to kill against Tyrande, but they can't get it yet. There's still Li Ming to be considered, though, and Zeratul makes the play. Zeratul wants it. In, out the entire time. Super mobile here and super aggressive, too. So now we're looking at 16 versus 15 talents. Still mines towards the top, and they're looking for boss play. Yeah, boss play is already sniffed out, but Greymane isn't here yet. Are they still making the play? They're looking at it. They're thinking about it. Ults are all offline. Well, Blessed Shield is up in just a moment. Dehaka is already in trouble. Boss is still up. Blessed Shield already used. They're going for a Cocoon being used too. And Death Knight goes down. That's the kill right there. Meneldo is trying to get them eliminated. But Li Ming is playing whack-a-mole with the blue team. Goes in calamity after calamity. Gets the damage out. Zeratul is dead just before she herself dies. The boss is taken. That's another 4 shots fired. And all of a sudden, the red team might be able to make a comeback here. 11 kills against 6, 4 against 4 bell towers on the map, but a 5 versus 3 right now in favor of Ryzing Gaming. They are back to this. Triple M played it a bit too aggressive. They thought they could get the boss here in a 4 versus 5. Guess what? They thought wrong. And now they might lose another 1 or 2 altars, because Zeratul, he's just back on his way in 5. Johanna's on the way now too. We still have some ults available, at least the Ring of Frost and also the Void Prison are there, but it's a double channel. And there's nobody to interrupt it. That's 8 more points off the core. We have a tight series. Massive amount of shots fired, and that is 12 versus 12 points. And they are moving in without Dehaka, who's currently reclaiming the top tower. Death Knight, damn, it is actually getting insanely close here. Meneldo's Meme Machine, I think they had the full control here. And then they are a bit too greedy, a bit too confident, and it starts to backfire. And again, I said it before, Greymane and Nubarak is a really good setup if you want to reclaim a structure, especially with Hammer, of course, in the back. As long as Greymane can get the auto attacks in, as someone else is soaking all the shots, he is raising down structures quickly. I mean, look at this. Super quick setup, and up at the top, Sugar Daddy still needs more time. We're thinking about setting something up at the bot lane, but damn, this game is all over the place right now. This could definitely end up with a victory for Ryzing Gaming if there's another mistake or two by Triple M. They haven't lost Whitemane yet, and look at the damage output on Zeratul. His 16 alone was so strong that they really thought they could take the boss fight because of that, because of the Void Slash. But Hammer got the attacks in. Now Dehaka has nearly recaptured the top. They're trying to steal this away, and they actually get it. Where's the Void setup? Oh, the Blizzard alone is already wrecking Greymane. And here's the setup. Can the ring come in? Ring-a-ling, and double kill. Down goes Tyrande. Not only that, it's a quad kill. Jeez. Ming, Hammer, and Tyrande fall, and that's the setup that you need. They completely destroy them right there. Ring-a-ding-a-ding, as the Ring of Frost comes in and just drops them. Dehaka had to burrow down, by the way, just before he got the bell tower at the top. He's like, can you just give me a moment? Just a second, I nearly got it. No? Alright, let's kill them first. 2-level lead now, and they get another bell tower, or at least they try to. I mean, dropping the fountain alone would be a win, but we have now the altar on the map. And that's 5 shots right there. If they get the bell tower here in the middle as well, that's 6 shots fired, and it would put Triple M into such a massive lead, it's ridiculous. Level 20. And they're going for this. You can't fight this. You cannot fight against the 20, can you? There's the stun. They're coming in through the tunnel, and Greymane is immediately on the run. Tries to get the kill though. Meneldo is low, and they actually make it happen. Dehaka is starting to come in. He might be a bit too late. Johanna is already about to fall. She has the 20 though. Isolation hits. 1 kill. Hammer pushes Sugar Daddy into the range of Greymane. Here comes the Ring of Frost. Doesn't hit though. It's a 4 versus 3 right now, but the level 20 talent is so powerful. And down goes Tyrande. They're going for Greymane again. Sugar Daddy is right there in the thick of things. In comes again Jaina with the damage. The poke against oh my god. Against Nubarak, and Dehaka gets it. Dehaka gets it, and it takes them longer than they expected, but they're still able to get the channel. What a fight there. They try to interrupt it. They don't have Storm Talons, though, and that's the Shorts fight again. Boom! Straight to the face. And now, of course, it's still a 2-level lead. 18 kills against 8. They're all going in. Harsh discipline, baby. The setup for Dehaka. And you can't give Daddy a layup like that. Sugar Daddy is always going to connect that tongue. He hits the lick after the harsh discipline, and that's another kill. 19 against 8. 19 against 8. And they're going in again. Look at that damage output. 72,000 for Hammer. But it doesn't matter. They only got 8 kills. The siege damage is great, and she controlled top lane for a long time. But now we're having Zeratul on 47,000. Jaina gets the follow-up there. Ooh, blank! Even the contagion is hidden here. And they're starting to retake the middle. Ryzing Gaming, that is. Buying themselves a little bit more time. Whew, it's all about the next bell tower. The next altar, that is. And, well, 19.5. They might have a good chance of getting their own level 20. Nothing announced yet. And they're getting closer. Stacks on Greymane's Wisdom Duelist, by the way. Still sitting at 3 here. So not too pretty. But now the minions are coming through. The mercenaries, that's 6 shots right there. That could be game. They have to at least take a few of them down. And double altar on the map now. Yeah, Li Ming immediately with the disintegrate. And of course also the napalm on Hammer. Need to take them down as quickly as you can. And now you have to at least get one of the 2 altars. At least one. And we have Zeratul still with the Void Prison. Nice blink here as well as Tyrande tries to connect the stun. And the Void Prison can just delay them long enough to get one. Are they going to try and make the play for both? 19 versus 20. There's no level 20 talent just yet. We have the channel right there. Dehaka is channeling the bottom. Channel interrupted. They're trying to go for the kill. Dehaka gets the channel. And now they're trying to make the play. Dehaka goes in and he interrupts. Here's the isolation. Still no 20. The damage on Tyrande. And down goes Dagba. The support is already gone. 1 point on the core, and that's just not bloody enough. In comes the attempted kill against the Nubarak, and Zeratul delivers the kill. Goes in with the last hit, and he just doesn't stop there. He drops Li Ming to no resets for her, and that is game. The channel is happening, and ladies and gentlemen, the meme machine, after losing game number 1, they win 2 in a row, and they are successful in this series. They take down Ryzing Gaming with a 2-1 victory on Towers of Doom.